The U.S. Army on Thursday said little was known so far about why two medical evacuation Black Hawk helicopters crashed in Kentucky, killing 9 soldiers, one of the military's deadliest training accidents in recent years. At a press conference at Fort Campbell, Army Brigadier General John Lubis said the crash occurred during a routine nighttime training mission involving night vision goggles, but that investigators had not yet determined why the helicopters came down.
The Army has deployed an aircraft safety team from Fort Rucker, Alabama, who will arrive later today and will immediately initiate an investigation to help us understand what caused this crash in order to prevent accidents like this from happening again.
Lubis said one helicopter had 5 soldiers aboard while the other had 4, but acknowledged he was not sure whether they crashed into each other. At a Pentagon briefing, Air Force Brigadier General Pat Ryder said he was not aware of plans for any aviation stand-down following the crash.
Right now, the Army is going through the process of next of kin notification, so it would be inappropriate at this point to release any additional information. Certainly more will be provided as it becomes available. In terms of any type of stand-down for aircraft, none that I'm tracking at this point. Of course, that's certainly the prerogative of the Army and as it manages its aircraft.
Fort Campbell, home to the 101st Airborne Division, is one of the largest military bases in the country. 2 U.S. soldiers were killed in a helicopter crash during training at Fort Campbell in 2018. Sources said on Thursday, making him the first ex-president to face criminal charges in U.S. history. The indictment, arising from an investigation into hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels, could reshape the 2024 presidential race. The specific charges related to the probe, led by Democratic Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, are not yet known. The New York Times reported that the indictment will likely be announced in the coming days. A lawyer representing Trump said she was informed of the indictment, but did not know when he would surrender. Bragg's office did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
We're witnessing American history. Never has a former president been indicted or charged with the crime, and that's what we're seeing here.
Nima Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor and the president of West Coast Trial Lawyers.
Trump will be given the opportunity to appear in court. He's not going to be arrested. Now, he will be booked, which means he'll be fingerprinted, he'll have his mugshot taken. His attorneys, of course, will plead not guilty for him. I don't expect there to be any pre-trial resolution in this case, and we're going to see the most politically charged trial in American history.
The grand jury began hearing evidence in January about Trump's role in the hush money payment to Daniels days before the 2016 presidential election that he ended up winning. Daniels, an adult film actress whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, has said she received the money in exchange for keeping silent about a sexual encounter she had with Trump in 2006. The former president's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has said Trump directed hush money payments to Daniels. Trump has denied having an affair with her. Federal prosecutors examined the Daniels payoff in 2018, leading to a prison sentence for Cohen, but no charges against Trump. No former sitting U.S. president has ever faced criminal charges. Trump also faces criminal investigations led by a special counsel appointed by the U.S. Attorney General over his handling of classified government documents after leaving office and his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. He also faces an investigation led by a local prosecutor in Georgia into whether he unlawfully tried to overturn his 2020 election defeat in that state. Trump previously said he would continue campaigning for the Republican Party's nomination in the presidential race if he was charged with a crime.
Finally, it shows that democracy is finally at its place where it's supposed to be, and knowing that people cannot just riot. Violence is never, ever the response we need. Great job, America.
I come from a family of foreigners, so I definitely think he deserves a lot of things that he's going down for.
Totally wrong. That's all I have to say.
Why is it totally wrong?
That's my opinion. Oh.
And why do you feel that way?
It's a political witch hunt.
What's the difference between Clinton and Paula Jones and Trump and Stormy Daniels?
Good question. Good question. He didn't get indicted.
I know. I feel like there's some hypocrisy on both sides playing, so I don't know. That's all I got.
To me, it's generally good news, but I'm not convinced that anything's going to come of it. He's probably not going to get arrested because he has enough money not to do that. And, you know, again, as much as I hate the Donald, I think that we have bigger pressing political issues than him.
Yeah, it's politics. I think they're just dying to find a way to keep him from being eligible for running for re-election. I think they're looking, if they can't do that, then they'll try to make him seem or try to make him appear as unpopular as possible. It seems like they've been after him since he won his first election.
I feel relief. I don't know how it's going to end. I'm not sure it's going to end the way we want it to end, but they got Al Capone on tax evasion, so whatever it takes, I think it's a dark part of our nation's history, and I do believe that illegal and criminal acts should be prosecuted regardless of whether or not you're a sitting or a former president.
Gwyneth Paltrow won the court case over who was liable in a ski slope crash that injured another skier on a Utah mountain in 2016. A jury in the state found she was not liable for injuries to the plaintiff, Terry Sanderson, a retired optometrist who had sought more than $300,000 in damages.
Was Gwyneth Paltrow at fault? No.
And the jury gave Paltrow the symbolic $1 she asked for in the countersuit. On the stand, the Hollywood star had said she was struck by Sanderson, not the other way round.
So you were watching your children when you alleged that you were skied directly into your back by someone.
My daughter was down the hill. My son was to my left, so I was skiing. My eyes were not fixated only on my son when Mr. Sanderson skied directly into my back.
During the trial, Sanderson had testified that he was hit from behind by a woman he later learned was Paltrow. He described hearing just before that moment what he called a blood-curdling scream.
I can't do it. It was and then boom. And it was like somebody was out of control and gonna hit a tree and was gonna die. And that's what I had until I was hit.
The court had Sanderson later sent an email to his 3 daughters after the incident with the subject line, "I'm famous." Paltrow contradicted statements made by Sanderson's friend Craig Ramon, who was the sole eyewitness to the incident. And she claimed that Ramon was 40 feet away and unable to clearly see who was at fault.
There were scuffles outside a Kyiv monastery on Thursday after a Ukrainian branch of the Orthodox Church defied an eviction order. Kyiv accuses the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, the UOC, of having ties with Russia, and tensions over its presence at the 980-year-old monastery have risen since Moscow's invasion. Members of the church refused entry to a government official who came to inspect the sprawling complex hours after the deadline to leave had passed. Shortly afterwards, Reuters correspondents saw church representatives trying to prevent journalists from filming a senior cleric outdoors. A Reuters reporter was hit and shoved by an unidentified man, and another reporter was pushed away by a cleric as she tried to approach him. Nobody was injured. We will not let government representatives in until there's a court decision, said the cleric. While the UOC is Ukraine's second largest church, most Ukrainian Orthodox believers belong to a separate branch of the faith. The Orthodox Church of Ukraine was formed 4 years ago by uniting branches independent of Moscow. The Ukrainian Orthodox Church is accused of breaking tenancy agreements and illegally constructing buildings, according to the government. The UOC denies this. They are also accused of maintaining ties with the Russian Orthodox Church, which supports the invasion. The UOC says it broke all links with the Russian Church in May 2022.